Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you for being part of it. This community is growing big and strong, just like the Facebook group. Everybody's on there helping each other. It's been a really great year. We're up over 13,000 subscribers, and I'm very thankful for that. We're going to do our year review today. It will tell what me and Heather have done all year on this channel, and we'll do a quick review. I'll try to cram it down as short as I possibly can. And also the 68 should be done, I'm hoping May is what I'm counting on, June worst case scenario. And we're going to go ahead then and start on a custom Baja project. We're going to do a Baja from scratch, literally. We're not going to buy one and mess with it. I want to do one from scratch for my son. He's paying for the project, but it'll be my pleasure to do it. Hopefully he'll jump in a few videos with me. Of course Heather will be, because she's going to do all the custom interior. This is going to be a fun project to do, especially for my son. It makes me feel really good. So let's go ahead and sit back and enjoy, and I'll go through a bunch of short clips of what we got done this year. So before we get started on the year review, gotta love Heather. She is a carnival when you're trying to film. So here's just a minute's worth of bloopers. I probably should have saved a lot of them, but I didn't. But here's a couple for your viewing pleasure.
Hi, I'm Slade. Welcome back to my channel. Well, I thought I would do it for a change. I can fix anything.
Come on. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you for being part of it.
And if you were wondering, Slade's an idiot.
Stop. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Welcome back to the community. Okay. Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thanks for being part of it. Okay, come on. All right, think of bad stuff.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Slade. This is now my channel.
Oh my
Seen
God.
the tour. I mean, he wasn't even in it. Why do you do that every time?
How on the butt part? I mean, it's soft.
Yeah.
Don't get silly. Don't. Okay, so yeah, Heather can be a real card to work with, but she's a lot of fun. Okay, we'll get started. I'll talk through it a little bit. You won't see me. Good for you. And we'll go through the year review now. So we'll start out with the 68. Just a quick rundown with it, and then we'll move along to all the videos. So here we go. So the first thing I remember is when we checked out the 68 to see what condition it was in. The door, same thing. Shuts very nice. I am very, very impressed with this for a 68. And here's a nice thing. It also has the original German pop-outs from the factory. I don't think I can do it from the outside, but let's see what goodies we have inside. We're going to end up pulling the front beam off. Well, we're going to do a lot. Everything. Just like we did before, but now with the standard Beetle. Ain't much of a difference in just the suspension up front, you know. So. Then we did a second engine teardown. This one was being stubborn to get apart, unfortunately. And then we can spin them off quick. I'm very eager to see what this is like inside. I had these loose because I robbed it of a oil pump. There was a brand new oil pump, brand new pistons. It was of my video on the Super Beetle build. And here it comes. All right. These bearings are bad. Okay. Lifters everywhere. One made it to the floor, which is fine. I'm not using these parts over, so Not a big deal. And see, moving smooth. It looks pretty good though. And I know he did plan on using it, so I just want that checked where the cam was, being so pushed, but I really don't believe it did anything bad. Then my next adventure was to install grease fittings, since a lot of our components now don't come with them. Wasn't biting very well. So there we go. And we're tapping. Let me get a little more cutting oil on there. Okay. It's in there. So what we're going to do now, I want to pop this boot off and I want to pump some grease in here and watch it come through the ball, the socket technically. See how nice that is? It reminds you of like 1975 when you were able, I wasn't driving in, but when you were able to actually grease. So you want to do a ball joint together? Okay. And of course, one of our salvage yard runs, and Heather does enjoy going to them, so it helps make it more fun. I got my helper with me. She's semi-excited.
I'm excited.
She is excited. It's 16 degrees, so that's pretty cold. Let's rock and roll. That's out of the way. And it's been on there a while. Probably original. Look at that crazy looking spider. That's fine.
There it
Dumb
is.
idiot. Okay. That's in there. Okay. Got the glove box from the other car. Okay, let me see here. Let me stretch these out. Fenders and Dororama. I don't think I need any doors, at least yet. Here's doors with big fat chrome. I think I was here last time I was here. I can't remember now. And the old auto stick Beetle. That's kind of cool. You don't see that often. Let's take a peek under here. And, oh, yeah, we got an old single port. Oh, there's a distributor for me to rebuild. Woo-hoo. There's the front clip to it. We missed this one here. Sunroof edition. Very cool. And another 67. That's the one, of course, I got the little piece out of. I think that still has the radio in it too, like the other one. Yeah, it does. Still has the radio. Okay, because that car may save 10 others with all the parts. That's how it works. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you warm?
I'm warm now.
All right, we're headed back. So what'd you think? What did we get today? Looky. Obviously, you know I gotta sand these down and paint them the color we're making the car. But, and of course we did our steering box refresh. Always an interesting video. Let's break it loose. Okay. Now, you don't want this screw to turn. You want it to remain exactly where it is for right now. Okay. So, a little so I can show you something. Now let me bring you up close and show you a couple things. Matter which one you use, this will come out a little more thin when you're pouring it out, but how OO grease works, from what I read, is when you're turning your wheel back and forth, it thickens it up. When it's hot and it builds up pressure, you're going to start squirting grease outside of the shaft seal. There's that one. I mean, it's just a steering box cover. It ain't rocket scientist, but I like to click torque stuff where it's supposed to be. Then, of course, came the frame head, and using rust bullet. I really enjoyed doing that video a lot. We're going to go ahead and take our old brush. I shouldn't say old brush, cheap brush. And like I said, buy a cheap brush. Okay. Wow, this stuff goes on nice. This looks like glass. I don't know how it looks on film because high definition cameras seem to pull in stuff that the naked eye can't even see. But I love this stuff. I wouldn't even push it, except I know people that have used it. So that was just a quick tutorial on it. Then a quick shot to the junkyard again, or should I say salvage yard, for some body panels with Heather. Okay, but it's actually like 32 still, so, and it's about 11 a.m.
I like car junkyards.
Yeah, they're fun. They are.
It's always something to look at.
Yep.
You always find something unique.
These cars got a lot of memories.
That's for sure. Imagine how many trips are taken in some of these.
Right.
Oh my goodness, how many good times, family memories.
Oh, absolutely. I used to think it all the time when I went through the junkyards years ago. Let's try this one. It's nice and solid. What's it looking like? Oh God, I want to take home another one.
He doesn't want to be in the junkyard.
Yeah, that's where we pulled the 68 from.
You gotta save these girls.
Then I decided to do a rocker arm disassembly since I had quite a few I had to clean up. Came out to be a great video. Disassembling these completely, and you got to make sure you're careful so you put everything back together the proper way. And we're going to soak them in there, run them under heat and the ultrasonic waves, and see how clean they come. Okay. There is our other. Let me move these over a little bit. Our other rocker arm. Our block. I call it a block. You call it what you want with water when you're done. But they come out really, really nice. Okay, I'm going to do a second pass on them. Right? That is like brand new. Okay. And I had more to clean up, so Heather wanted to get involved because she wanted to play with the ultrasonic cleaner. Here she is. She stepped in on us, guys. I'm sorry.
Deal with me sometimes.
When you first get your ultrasonic cleaner and open it up, even if you're not going to use it yet, test it to make sure it's okay. Nice enough to bring up warm water, which you can see it's steaming. So it'll help it. You don't have to do that. There's a heater built in. Towel here, and
that's why I had to get new bath towels. Because you keep taking them and bring them up the garage, and you said, oh, I don't know where they went.
I think I need to edit this part out. Just a quick, to get the heavy stuff off. Okay, we're going to do one more cycle, and then I'm going to leave you guys get back to your families or hobbies or, you know, I don't know what all you do. Let me get you in a little closer, guys. That really came out good. Oh, yeah. Now you want to rinse this stuff with water. Then, of course, I couldn't keep my hands off the ultrasonic cleaner and rebuilt a 30 picked 2 carburetor. We're going to be putting a solution into the cleaner, and you don't want it just contaminating the whole thing immediately. So we removed our return spring and the diaphragm together. We're going to throw this in too because, of course, we want this all cleaned up. Okay, back up, guys. Bottom came out really good. Nice and clean. I mean, remember, we're talking like 50-year-old carburetors here. I'm really happy. That actually came out very, very nice. It really, really did. And I say that with confidence. Up next, I did a handbrake repair video, since a lot of them have troubles with the mechanism sometimes. Right here. Now see, you have, come on. You have a bracket like that. Okay, so don't lose that. Or just give me, whoop, there it is. Almost. Nothing works perfectly easy. I hope my head's not blocking anything. So I'll pull it out. I was going to try to show you something, but never mind. There's the snap ring on the other side. You can leave that on if you want. Here's all your parts that you're going to have. So make sure to clean everything up real good. I am going to go ahead and strip this down real quick and paint it. So I wasn't going to do all of that on film, but I figured what the heck, I'm really happy. So, all right, let's start assembling this. Folks are very lucky because you don't have to look at me when we're doing these kind of videos. What I did next was remove the steering wheel and the steering column, which was a really great video to show everyone. Bottom. Now, the one thing you have here is your horn wire. So make sure, by all means, disconnect your battery before you're doing any of it. Let me see. There we go. These two bolts and nuts held this to the steering box. I'll try to splice in a video if I can find it about disconnecting it from the steering. Go ahead and take these loose. I hope I'm not in front of you, but I guess you know what it's like to see bolts loosened up. Okay. And we're going to guide this through the hole and pull it right out. Okay. Something that was needed and helpful for everyone, I believe, was making a homemade tool to save money. Out. And that's where I used the needle nose, and it started to nick the end of it because it was really tight, and that was the headlight switch. I did get it out, but I have the flashers, I have the windshield washer with the switch in the dash and make these lines. I'm doing this for the purposes of being on camera. It makes it easier to film. Okay, I was making sure you were in the window. Let me bring you in a little bit closer for this part. Okay, so if this was in the car, which like I said, I'm only doing it this way for filming. It's too hard to film in the car with showing what I'm going to do. Take a flat washer, okay? And you have the part to hold with your thumb and turn. Look at that, how nice that was. Just goes right in and turns. And here was something interesting I thought about doing as the pros and cons to daily driving a Beetle. And please check out the merch. I believe she has a, yep, she has a t-shirt on. I didn't put one on today, so I'm not a member. If you get a chance, go over to Facebook and join the community group there. Pretty nice, you know.
And I mean, even if you pick something like this up and restored it, by the time you're done, you're still way under what you would spend on a used car now.
And you're right. You're right. Thank you for chiming in on that. She is right. And
you have pride, too.
Yeah. Thank you.
Learning. And I've learned a lot.
You have. You really have.
I've learned a lot. I probably know too much for a female at this point. But
and what we have here is they're dependable. I think the older vehicles are much more dependable than the new ones, and some people are going to say, no, you're wrong. Maybe a little, but not a lot. There's a lot of high performance goodies out there for these, and that's been going on since maybe the 60s. I don't know, mid 60s. It never faded away with that. There's so many vendors out there, from CB Performance to, I could go on and on and on. I don't feel like doing that. But for
you can do now, before you reupholster your seats, they have heated seats, heat covers that go under
there's
your
heated seat pads. Yeah. You've always been a big fan.
You can just put all your 60s, 70s music, whatever you're listening to, right on that USB, and you don't have to, you just, boom. That's it. It's
and you can
playing.
roll all day.
Yep.
Then came the pedal assembly rebuild, and I did a pedal extension to space them further apart. So, What we're going to start off doing first is we'll take the gas pedal off here to get it out of the way, and then the roller part. And then we got to get this pin out. That's usually the ugliest part of it. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Hey! I didn't have to put map gas on it. Usually I do. Laying it on. Usually I'll do a light coat and this coat and that coat, but it's a pedal assembly. Is the extender to move the clutch pedal over, okay? And then we have this where the clutch cable will go onto instead of a hook. It's a little bit tighter. Mine, however, are perfectly fine. There's no play up and down. If that makes sense. I'm just moving the whole thing with my hand. So, however, look how nice and smooth that is. Okay? You could see the distance now between them, so when your feet are on there, they're not touching each other. So to change things up a little, we took a trip to Harbor Freight to pick up an air compressor. So we're in here. Let's take a walk over. We'll go right to the compressors. They have so much cool stuff in here, it's unbelievable. That's a 26 gallon, so 26, but it is $400. And that 5 extra gallon, I don't know if I'm really gonna, you know.
All righty, you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, I appreciate your help. Have a great day. Oh wow, it's really not as loud as I thought. My other compressor was actually much louder. So, we are gonna time that for 30 minutes. Right in, hold the handle, just give it a firm push, okay? And I'm gonna put a blow nozzle on here, blow gun, whatever you want to call it. Let me bring you in closer. I'm gonna let it build back up and we'll put a DA on there. If I take it back in a year and a half and it takes a poop on me, all I do is take my receipt in, save your receipts. It's probably in the system there anyhow. They give me another one and I can extend the warranty again if I want. Next, I did a wood pallet wall that my son described to me, and it was a lot of fun showing the process. Nice. I got to get the clock hung up, the signs up, but let me get on that last piece there and I'll be right back. An interesting film I did was what to check before buying a Beetle or a Super Beetle, which hopefully is helpful. What I'm going to check next is the frame head. Now there's going to be a gas tank here when you're looking at the car, unless you're looking at a car that needs a lot of work and it's a basket case, you'll be able to look down through here. And on the inside, check both sides. This started out as looking like the size of a quarter until I started wire wheeling, cleaning it up. Around the windshield, okay, for those that have the windshields in, check for rust at the bottom of the windshield. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it right here. And look for rust around the windshield because it's a high possibility when you pull the windshield, it's going to be rotted out there. If you've opened the door up and you notice it drops, regardless, even if it don't, check your pillar here. Make sure it's not rotted out. They are notorious for rotting out in this area. Check and see if the floor pans look clean. Mine obviously are in good condition. I have a hole here, I have a hole here, but I knew about them previously, so that's fine. Look in this area and see if there's any rot there. Then I did another carb rebuild on a 30 picked for a change. Hopefully was helpful. I've never done the 30 picked, and it must be slotted, and it is. Look. See how there's little slots on it right there? Is a 15, although seems to fit loose. Now watch, in your fuel shutoff valve, do you see this? So let's put this on. Let's go to 8 minutes and bam, okay? I'm gonna put that down in a little tight. I like to give it a little tap. Now what you don't want to do is tap it to the point where you're bending that arm over. It looks good. I'm very, very happy with it. All right, give me a second here, and I'll close out because I'm going to do this on a different film. If you just want to see it, let me know. And of course, you can never learn enough about the thermostat and how to test them and the functioning of why you should have this. It's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Let's clean this up real quick. I'll be right back. It was taking a while for the water to heat up. So let me take this out of there, okay? We'll put this in. Hopefully you can see that. See how it's expanding? That water's hot, so don't bump it with your fingers. Take a little while. There, see that? Hopefully that was in line of sight. Okay, just so you know where we're at here. There's your alternator. Here's the front of the engine, which is the rear of the car, okay? This is sitting over your cylinder heads, okay? The rod comes down through the cylinder heads like you see here. That is a properly functioning thermostat, okay? And like I said, if you do need one, just go to Awesome Powder Coat. They're a little pricey. Don't buy some generic piece of crap. Then I took out time to explain the oil pressure relief system and also how to take it apart. So let me get that out of there. Believe it or not, I pressure washed this. I don't know why there was still dirt in here, but I still got to finish cleaning it up. So, all right, this is the front of the engine, which would be the rear of the car where the crank pulley's at. Spin it around it. Clean this up real nice. Do not, please do not use any type of sandpaper, emery cloth, wire wheel, nothing. Oh, wait, I think it broke loose. I think it broke loose. I think it broke loose. Yep, it did. Remember two things. One, you can use these. However, if you buy the Allen head ones, you will never have an issue. Then Heather and I went and checked out a Type 3 hatchback. Sadly, it was rotted too far. And as you see, surprise, it's a 69 Type 3 fastback. Nice barn find. So we're going to check this car out. Her pan's out.
Yep. You got holes.
You got holes. Ooh.
She crusty.
She's an old one. Let's see here. I just showed above the striker plate. Okay. And let me climb up here a minute. And as you can see, the fuel injection has been removed. There's dual carburetors on it. But you don't want to change the original paint on them. There's the rot. That's where the gas tank hooks up. So I'm gonna, give me a minute. I'll jack the front end up and I'll take you guys underneath with me. Always smoked, which he already warned me of that. I can even see a block of wood in there keeping it from coming down. And that is the reason I think I'm gonna have to pass this one. There's too much rot in. Then of course, a really nice video on master cylinder replacement, which hopefully helped a lot of folks out. You have your hoses on top. You're going to pull the hoses off. I cut them because I was putting all new hose and everything on. So remove your hoses. Just take a little pair of, let's just this plastic here, these fittings. The bolt's up, going to the master, holding it in. Alrighty. Let me, oh, there's the clip. Is spacers. We've talked about this in my other videos, but if you're new to my channel, there's spacers inside of there. We're going to line it up the best we can with the holes. I just have two little rubber pads here for the pedals. Okay, so I'm going to put one under there and one off to the side. And I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver. I mean, well, tighten them, don't just snug them. Look up the torque specs. If you have a Bentley, or check Google. I don't give torque specs tight. So what you can do right now is put your hoses back on. Then I decided to do a video showing the complete brake assembly rebuild. We're going to be doing all this together. I got new spring kits, new brakes. So we're going to clean all this stuff though and make it look pretty. I'm gonna let that tack up for a minute. Thing up, nice and neat, looks like new. Cleaned up our little bolts. One goes in the back of the wheel cylinder. My brain stopped working. Contact points of where your brakes slide. Obviously, it's going to be there. I found it easier to use the side cutters. Everything looks nice and neat. Now, let me get in front of the camera. Now, most of you are going to be doing this on the car, so it's going to be up like that. So you're going to put your pins in first to hold the brake shoes in place. Then, of course, it was time to do the floor pan refurbishment with rust bullet, which come out really nice. So you want to stir it up really good. Yeah, after I started reading up on this stuff, I really had no idea it could be used as a primer. That avoided hitting here because I got to take the beam off and do the front of the frame head. Because what I'm going to do soon, and like I said, I'm talking during some of this, is I'm going to be putting on the new beam and the front suspension and getting that out of the way. What it looks like with the first coat, okay? I'm not going to bore you and go on and on. Actually come out very nice. I'm on the ground, so, you know. Then I had to do a video while I did the rust bullet on the front firewall above the frame head. But I just want it to all look good, keep it from rusting. I mean, if I was putting this in car shows, you got to get up inside this channel, then that'd be one thing. I would use the... That was weird. The SWAT truck just drove by looking around. I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up because I have stuff to say about using it, but it's going to be on the front beam section that I talk about it. So what I did do down here is I put a rag. Can you see that? Yeah. I put a rag in there so that it doesn't get inside on the stem from the master cylinder. And I'm going to go ahead and chase the threads is what I call it. I'm going to run a 12 millimeter by 1.5 millimeter tap through. Then we went to check out a 1967 Beetle that came from the same salvage yard that the 68 did. Let's take a look at it. Heather's going to look it over too because she's going to be part of that project. I got a lot of ideas for it, but I'll explain it to you when we go over the car. I never seen diamond plate running boards.
You never know what.
That's a first. Holy crap.
Nice disc brakes on the front.
Oh.
Rotors, I think, are going to need or replaced. But there's disc brakes.
Yep. Disc brakes. Front beam looks good, actually.
And look at that Napoleon's head.
Why did they have the bolts pulled out of it?
This is 100%, and then this is the 67, 68, there's a relay.
Right. Then it was time to tackle those rear quarter extensions, and I did have somebody step in on the welding. We got to do the rear quarters. I have the new sections for that. was really bad back there. And look at this. That is all done. I got to do a little grinding. He put all new pieces in. Look at that, how beautiful. Because this 68, besides this little bit of crap, it's a really solid car. So, and we got the floors done, so that's out of the way. I mean, his work is unbelievable. I got to do a little bit of cleanup work, but I told him not to worry about it because he was here all day. Put new shelves in. That's what I call them. And as usual, back to the salvage yard to get a steering column out of a 67. Let's see what this one looks like. It'll be a little harder to get to. Yeah, it kind of does. There. You do that. Okay, that's coming right off. And then we'll slide it that way. Hopefully it doesn't give us trouble. Okay. Heather's clearing some of that out for me.
Hello, are you in here?
She's talking to snakes.
You're in here, we need you to leave.
The shaft wants to come with it. There's the wires. And there is the column. Okay. And to switch up a little bit, what tools did I keep on hand in the garage? Some people wanted to know. It was fun. Believe it or not. And I like the flexible head ones. I need to find a Cornwell guy because this is warranted and it needs replaced. But I have here, these are number 4s. Do you know what they're for? The number 4 Phillips is for, wait, I got a couple here. I know, I'm all over the place already. The screws for your doors. Sizes of the crescent wrenches. So, and wire strippers. I keep extra little cases I get at Harbor Freight of the nuts and bolts. And I love these, the heat shrink. Those are nice. Here is, there's a rivet gun. What are these? That's Sawzall blades. And there's my timing light. And I love that timing light because it's got the adjustment on the back to dial them in. I keep a lot of this on hand with me everywhere I go because I never know what I'm going to need. Bostitch set, my other to go to. Very nice set. These things, I don't know much about Bostitch. I'm kind of new at using those, but they feel like the quality of Snap-on, like they're strong. This was actually a requested video on how to maintenance the window regulator, and I think it was well needed for the community. Okay, take that out like that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Wow, these are nice heavy metal. Is to put sound deadener in your door, but that's for another time. They're 10mm bolt heads. I guess that would be M6, I think by 1.0. Don't quote me on that. Okay, we got to get the glass out. There we go. Woo! I never had to fight with one of those. Is put my window winder back on here just to make things a little easy. Out. Okay, and I'm going to bring you up close here. Put this in the grease gun and pump it through there and then get the most of it out. But I don't like to get carried away and then have a big glob in there that turns to paste overnight. So, oh, nice. Okay, let's leave that up there a second. And everybody's favorite subject, oil. And should they leak? Well, I did a video on air-cooled oil leaks. VW air-cooled oil leaks, okay? So we want to go over it because a lot of people, I know the joke, all air-cooled motors leak oil. My Beetle marked its spot, haha. No, they don't have to. Oil here, and I have a rear main seal. I have a crankshaft, but there's no point in me pulling that out. Now, here's the deal. There is your main seal, your crankshaft seal, all right? so that actually ends up sliding inside the engine block. And as you know, they go to the engine block up to the head. And of course they seat against each other. A couple different types of push rod tubes, okay? Sealer on both sides of the gasket to get that seal. So I hope that all made sense. And watch with these fancy aftermarket chrome valve covers and blah blah. They're junk. And another requested video was a door latch mechanism maintenance, and I was more than happy to do it. I don't do affiliate stuff. You guys don't need to be paying me to buy tools unless you want to. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get it underneath here. Sometimes it can be a little tricky at first. So I sneak in here. Okay. Did you hear that pop? I'm going to show you something very important here about oiling. So you want coming closer? Now you have a screw right here. Okay. So if your seal's in the way, just pull it back a little. This is from the factory, and you can buy a new one if it breaks. It's just a little piece of plastic. You pull that off with a pair of needle nose and squirt oil inside of there, and it helps the latch assembly become oiled without removing anything. Now I'm going to try to stay out of your way the best that I possibly can, but there is a lot of crud on here. Put on here because of the grease. Now that's what it should do. It should move very, very smooth. Okay. And a fun video that I did was the things that you must know about owning a Classic Beetle. And everybody has owned one or knew somebody that owned one. They're their grandfather or their father, you know. And these were, I mean, come on, there was 21 million made. So obviously everybody knew somebody that owned one. So money pit. Now, any vintage car can end up a money pit. Everybody knows this word. It's used commonly when it comes to cars. Maybe houses, girlfriends. But the point being, you can get into a lot of money at first, so just expect that. Beetles are amazing that way. They actually bring people together. I like to add a little weight to the front, but I'm not advising you on what to do with your car that way. We're going to talk about heat. There's many people that say they froze to death in them. They had no heat. I've never ran into that issue. Never. One thing about Beetles is it brings people together, and I had the pleasure of doing an interview with my new friend Justin. So it was really convenient. So I said, you know, why don't we do an interview, because there's really not that many Mexican Beetles around. So how long have you had yours?
I've had this one for about 2 months.
Okay.
I found it on Facebook Marketplace. Folks are telling me.
Right. Now, what size tires are on the back?
Same.
Same?
Square set.
Okay. And you're riding close.
Mm-hmm. I was riding too close on the other side.
Yeah, we had to talk about that. I think the stance is perfect. I am going to measure before he leaves today for drop spindles. Wow. That's fucking great. Single outlet.
This is stock.
Yeah.
You know, it's
right.
A little different offset on the wheel and stuff, but all the important stuff is stock.
Right. Absolutely. And truthfully, you just don't see that many around where I live. Next, it was time to do a refurbishment to the engine compartment, of course, with Rust Bullet, my favorite. Paint these. Now, they're all going to be covered. Okay. I'll go ahead and clean this all up. I'll do that in front of you. I know this is a shoddy film, but I got to get this stuff done. At Harbor Freight, this one's 150 grit. I bought an 80 grit. It's a nylon abrasive wheel. I want to see how it works. Whatever you do, watch with these. These are extremely sharp. Yourself a favor with where your seal goes in, okay, the molding. When you see that, sometimes basically people will tap it a little to pinch the seal so it don't move. Go around and straighten that out It's nice and thick. It'll flow after a while, just like the frame head did. It was all smooth after it flowed out. This stuff is really nice. Let me speed up a little bit here. Hold on, I am going to do a second coat. I'm not going to film it because that would just be silly, but I will take a photo to slip in here in a second of what it looks like with 2 coats on it when it's done. Then next was good old valve adjustment 101. On the distributor, maybe that'll make better sense. See how one side, the half moon, is smaller than the other? If you had to remove your distributor at this point, okay, go ahead and put it back in. Just give it a couple little turns. Marked mine with white, white out. Take and make a line directly across this and make a mark directly across 180 on the other side of the pulley. There we go. Whoop, because I was pushing on it. There, slight drag. Okay, your 13 millimeter locking nut. Now watch that you do not turn this, taking advantage of the camera angles right now. Now you tightened it, but every time you do, double check, because even I've moved it before, not that I'm anything special. I had a friend ask me if I could dye his seat professionally so it lasted, so here you go. Wow, this is a nice seat. Getting some of that paint off that was splashed onto here from whoever knows what. Could have been a work truck. Say you paid $100 for this seat. Well, if you bought one the color of your choice and waited around, it'd probably be $800 or more. Float around, and it's going to warm up the paint while I mask off the back of this seat, okay? So that's the first coat, and you can see when I was doing it how far back I was spraying from. All you want to do is mist it. And sometimes it's hard. You'll get spots. Not a big deal. As you can see, you got to get inside that sculpting if you have it on your seat. But regardless, you got to make sure you get inside that stitching to go ahead and just warm it so it atomized properly and dry evenly. It came out beautiful. Then Heather and I went on the road, a brief stint, to a friend's who has a very nice collection.
2054 stroker with a plus 5 rib training.
Wow!
Yeah, it's actually a little bit too loud.
This is a go-getter and it's light. It's very, very light.
Yeah, the drivetrain actually came out of a rail buggy that I had bought. And we went through, put new jocks and pistons in. And...
Auto stick?
Yep, original California car.
This is a California car. Oh, that's nice. Especially
original heater channels, original fans, original quarter panels. And
oh my.
For us, not having rot down here.
Yeah. Okay. Motor sounds nice. Sounds really, really nice. You throttle it just a hair, just a little bit.
Wow.
I think we have a little bit of treasures down here.
Hey, it's not
even some in the back.
It's not hoarding if the stuff's cool, right?
That's never hoarding. Wow.
So
amazing. And by popular demand, we did our first roundtable meeting, which was truly a lot of fun. A few people suggested a meeting of a few people that I've interviewed, and it has been to our home. Good folks. So tonight, Justin's coming here. That's the fellow that I did the interview with.
That Ashley had gotten for me, and it comes from the UK.
Okay, I thought so. And so they're still rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, she got that.
Yeah.
And It's funny because that bug of his, it's just, it looks rough, but that thing runs like you wouldn't believe.
You know,
it just runs so good.
And that's the thing with the old Volkswagen air-cooled motors.
It's a pace setter Monza sport muffler, and it was funny because the guy sends me a link to it, and he goes, "Yeah, this is it," and it said like, $1,900 or something. I said, "Oh my God, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm ready." He goes, "No, it's like $60 American." I'm like, "Oh, I'll send you $100, man. Don't worry for your trouble. I'll send you $100 for your trouble."
Like 7 years ago, that'd have been $1,000 car.
Yeah.
These things now are $5,000.
And the thing is our cars now, and this is for people that want to have, pretty much a daily driver. Then I took out time to explain the proper way of lowering a classic VW Beetle and also raising it. Seen these and said, "Oh, you have an adjustable beam." No, this is for your torsion leaves. When your torsion leaves go in there and you tighten these up, it holds them. So there are a set of drop spindles. I have to clean these up. These actually came off of the car that I did the disc brake and drop spindle conversion on. Can you narrow these yourself? I would recommend, if you're going to take your factory German beam, go get it done. Raising or lowering a car, a lot comes into play, like the geometry and everything. So you need to make sure you do it properly. Don't think that you're just going to buy an adjustable beam, bolt it up, and go on with life. When you add the shims, okay, to give yourself more caster, your steering wheel is going to get a little heavy, all right? You can adjust the outer and inner, okay? A lot of people usually drop 1 notch. And always a fun video to show new parts and opening them up. Le carpet kit. Sound French, huh? And there you have it. It's salt and pepper. And I'll explain why I went with that color in a moment. Cut your silk. Oh, it's nice and soft. Yeah, it is pretty nice. Okay. And what do we have here? Nice little bubble pack bag. I'll save that. And we have 2 turn signals because I have a Mexican bumper. And there we have it. These are German. The new scrapers in chrome. Let's take a look at them up close. For the doors, I'm sorry, I was at a loss for words for a second here. New clips don't work quite as well as the originals. There's a surprise, huh? So I'll go ahead and find the one I'm missing. I don't know how that happened, but... And much to my surprise, Heather had surprised me with a low back Pro Car scat seats. That was a must video. I am freaked out. I can't even believe you would do that. Holy shit.
With that.
Wow.
Ain't no playing around.
These are beautiful.
You like them for her?
I love them. Thank you,
What do you guys
so
think?
much.
Tell me in the comments. Do you like them?
Oh, I sit in it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just watch. It's a janky setup.
Oh, I like these.
It's comfortable?
Yes.
Nice.
Nice. I like them.
All right.
Very nice.
How on the butt part? I mean, it's soft.
Yeah.
Don't get silly. Don't. Or nice. I got to sit in them now. Okay, obviously they're going to need further back for me. I'm 6'3", just as a guide, or a little over 6'3". So obviously I'm going to have these back further. Go over these a little bit, and I will say Heather was right. They feel like leather. This is a very thick quality vinyl. And of course, what's more fun than a budget repair video? I really enjoyed that. Keep the laughter to a minimum. All right. You have your fan shroud on here, and you have your duct hoses coming down. All right. We can wire well and clean the rest of it. But what I'm going to do is, you can buy these little cheap brushes even at the dollar store. You want to get the heavy stuff off of here. Okay. So let me do that. Okay. And no, you're not going to stick it on yet. Okay. This stuff's nice because it does bend. I did this on my last project on the heater boxes, and it held up really nice. Okay, we're going to Get this on here like that, and now I go further than this. I have done this, and it really, and you can even, you know, if you want to make it a show, to show you a way to put the high heat paint on where it stays on this. It's just something I do. Okay, be right back. Move it yet, but I'll show you when I'm done how nice it did come out. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the hair dryer. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this will be dry in a few seconds. And for a little technical help and diagnosis, a video on the proper way of testing an ignition coil. This is a Craftsman one. They're not very expensive. I forget what this one cost. You'll need a multimeter, and there's a couple different ones you can purchase. So this is the one that I have on hand. So let's touch that. Oh, wait, I'm blocking you, aren't I? Okay, so let it wind down. One lead. Okay, keep an eye on the meter. You're going to touch, this is hard keeping it on there. You're going to touch the body of the coil like this. Now watch your meter. Okay, there's no short. Poke your lead down inside the main where your coil wire would go on. Touch the side. See the spark? I know it's hard to see. You see it down there? And to finish out the year, we did our Christmas cottage tour of our home, and I really hope everyone enjoyed it.
You ready for the Christmas tour? Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to take you for a little tour before Slade takes over. So, Frosty, my favorite. Isn't he adorable? I got him last year. I found him last year. I was so excited. One color, and then sometimes I kind of do a little bit different. I just like a different of appearance every year. And then I really took my time on this down here. Then this is the new white tree this year.
Extra tree.
It's all white. I wanted to do something all white, and there's the bust. So I always decorate her. And then here's the other nativity scene that goes with the other set. It's Lennox, so.
I like Lennox.
I do too, I think it looks pretty. Over here I do that more of a natural outdoor winter scene. With the birdhouse and the bird and that snowman, he's so cute. I got him at the Goodwill. I think he was like $2 or something.
Yeah, secondhand stores are the way to go with some stuff.
Oh yeah.
From our house to your house, Merry Christmas. Well, that was our 2022 review for the year, and I hope you enjoyed it. I did leave a few out that may have been a little boring. I hope you found it to be a fun video. It shows everything we accomplished in the last 12 months. Much more to come. I'm hoping to have the Beetle tied up by May. June would be worst case scenario because I would like to take it even out of state to some car shows. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for just subscribing if you're new here. Lots to see and coming up. A lot of fun ahead. Be safe. I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time if you're joining in the live chat here on YouTube as part of the community. And also, I hope everyone has a safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and all of your dreams come true in the new year to come. Love you all, folks.